Hey everybody, this is Grace, and if I put this on my original channel, my original YouTube channel, when I started back 10 years ago, it was 10 years in August, and it's now March. Yeah, 10 years ago. I want to, say that the reason I don't put stuff like this, this is something serious, it's because I have a channel that I dedicate mainly to my health issues, and this is a health issue. So, okay, and there's a lot to this health issue, but for some reason today I thought, maybe I'll go back and put it on my old channel, mixed with the other stuff that I use this channel for. If I put it on it, basically, I started it off as all I knew that at the time when I was on YouTube, all I knew was that they made music videos. It was about music and how to. But then I saw somebody made Dollar Tree videos, so I made, because I can do that. I made a Dollar Tree video. I remember back then there was some woman, she got on my channel. She left a comment on my channel and saying that she expects her girls to do this. And I'm like, this woman actually was trying to say I'm one of her girls? No. And but I guess she was just like that. There were a lot of things back then, and I lost interest because of the adult mean girl stuff. I said, nah, I don't need that in my life. So then I made other channels, and believe me, I have other channels. But like I said, I have one dedicated to my health, and I thought maybe I make some videos on this channel here and there about my health. So let me get started. A lot of it is involved. And if you figure it out, what it is, if I don't just state it straight out one time, but don't ruin it for other people who might just be interested in figuring it out themselves. Believe me, apparently that's what happens with the healthcare providers. I saw none of them figured it out, though. Well, actually, it was my physical therapist. Me and my physical therapist. After, April, May would be 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Okay, so let me go actually back further than that, but that's not when it really started. The stuff that started almost 2 years ago, some of it, I'm going to give fair warning here, is gross. Seriously, some of it was gross. I wound up in the ER. It was gross. Okay, that's how, I can't put it any other way. But seriously, but before that, I don't know how many years before that it was that we had the patio. We had the patio built to where there's a deck on top of it, and we screened in the patio and the deck above. I really haven't even been on that patio, but maybe once. I mean, not patio, but the deck. Yeah, I don't go upstairs after I had fallen. And let's see, I fell in 2017, but I don't know if the patio was done back then. But I was walking on this sidewalk like this, on the next road over, and one corner of it was covered with a little bit of rain, and I didn't know that it was not even. Well, didn't know that it was actually lifted up. My shoe tapped it, the left one, and one of those running falls, like you're trying to catch yourself, and went into that, and I went bam. Couldn't catch myself, and both knees hit the sidewalk, scratched them up really bad, so much really bad. And then in 2020, that I didn't have any physical therapy or anything. I didn't have health insurance back then, and I just left it alone, but I hardly ever went walking on the sidewalk again. Seriously. And Then in 2020, I was in the house early in February, and I got up, and all of a sudden I tilted to the left, and next thing I know, I heard crack. That was my left knee on hardwood floors we have, and that was pretty bad. And I remember telling Adam, my brain's not thinking right. And I had all kinds of weird symptoms February 2020. Ring any bells? So, all kinds of weird things going on back then. And I do remember I couldn't figure out how to get off of the floor. Seriously, how was I going to get off the floor? Adam wanted to try to lift me, and I said, no, because if you get hurt, then we're both SOL, you know? So don't try to help me. It took a long while, but I finally had scooted myself to a bed that was low enough for me to pull myself up on it with my hand and get up that way. It was bad. And around that time, after I couldn't sleep on my sides, which I sleep on my sides, and I had to sleep on my stomach, which I never do, and I can't sleep on my back with apnea. I haven't been diagnosed with it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Sleep apnea. But anyway, why am I going through that part so far back? But yeah, you know, back then, but before then, in between those two, I think it was in between those two. What was that noise? Did you hear something go crack? I did. So this SUV makes noises. I actually heard something go beep. Okay. I think I heard it just again. Just heard it again. Wow, put my sentences together right. But anyway, let me see if I can. Okay, no idea what made that noise, but it sounded like it was really close to the mic. Okay, anyway, move on. But in between those, I think it was in between those, is when something happened, and Adam, that's when they were working on our patio. The guy was working on it, and I went and told Adam, I said, my legs are real swollen. And short version of it is we went to the hospital, and I don't remember if it was both or one, and they just gave me 3 baby aspirins and told me to see my doctor or something like that, which nothing ever come of it. It just went away. They were swollen. It or they. Yeah, so now you can flash forward to 2023 and April, something like that. And I went to the hospital and told ER, just somebody tell me how these hospitals work these days. Seriously, I just had I didn't have health insurance. I had a team, I don't know what you call it there either. But it was just a service for people. I wouldn't even call it a clinic. It wasn't even a clinic, I don't think. But the doctors, they volunteered, and they saw patients that didn't have health insurance. And it was the same ones over and over. Until 2020, and the main doctor and the main nurse quit, but they still had 2 other nurse practitioners, and then they got a doctor. Anyway, I saw them for years. So I didn't know all these stuff, like you go to an ER and this hospital system, I guess you call it hospital system, they have their own doctors, and they have ones that are get paid through them, and it's all like what. But anyway, back in 2023, I went to this one hospital. I had been there before, like years before, but this time I went, and and I told them what was going on. I said, for some reason, I'm just very swollen. And I said, my stomach looks like I'm 9 months pregnant. And I was, 59 then? Something, I think 59, yeah. And I'm 61 now, so yeah. And it was like crickets. And I wound up going 3 times. And all 3 times, the second time, Adam was actually with me in the room. And when the doctor, the health, at the end of it, he goes, "Did they say anything? Seriously, did they say anything?" Because, I wanted him as a witness. It was like crickets. So you go to a hospital and they're not going to tell you anything because you don't have insurance. That was my thought, because I didn't have health insurance. So, but by the way, I got health insurance. That whole way that works. I think I may have actually put a video up about that, the way that the health insurance works. And because of the problem that sometime during then, then also my legs started getting swollen again. And it's edema. That one's, I won't, I say that it's edema. And little did I know, but it has not gone away like it did before. I had it one time. So, anyway. Okay, there's so much to this, I could throw it all out. I could throw all this stuff out, but I want to take it a little slower and talk about it in little pieces. But that is basically some of it. And my voice, in case you're wondering, I have been losing my voice for I don't know how long. It sounds funny, and it sounds like I'm getting older. I was thinking the other day, I am new at this. I am new at getting old. Yeah, I'm new at getting old. But am I? Maybe this is all a couple years, just getting older. And some of the things that I've had so many tests and so much of this and that since then. And some of the responses from them, once I got insurance, okay. I want to make a point of saying that. And apparently I have really good insurance. That's what I was told just recently. But the response is, it's just a kind of a natural thing of getting older. But not all of it. So I can leave that hanging. But yeah, I want to take it slower, like I said. And if I continue to do this or not, I don't know. Okay, but like I said in the beginning, I believe, I usually don't put really serious stuff on this channel. I have had it for 10 years, and there have been times I put, serious stuff on it. It's not all shopping. So, boy, has it not been all shopping. In fact, I hardly ever do that enough. And I have to wait until Monday before I can find out, how much I should be doing right now. Ooh, I leave that hanging too. Monday and Tuesday. See one doctor new to me on Monday, and then I speak to my other doctor on Tuesday. Although he had called, I guess I was asleep, or actually I was in another room right after 5, or right around 5 o'clock, and I missed him, so calling. But he was supposed to call me back. Today is Tuesday. He was supposed to call me back Thursday of last week. So, no rush, it seems. Is today Tuesday or is it Monday? It's Tuesday. All right. Oh boy, days have been just running together, I'm telling you. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up for now. We'll see what I do. If I'm going to put it on this original channel and start this, and or not. Because I did want to do a whole bunch of different kinds of videos. Talk about this. It's good, healthy to me, for me. Not telling anybody else. But to do this as a verbal journal. It always has been. All right, wrap it up.